There is so much upside these days when you're talking about mobile communication and technology, what's happening in our space. But there's also a downside to this, a risk and a threat. We're talking about malware, cyber attacks, cybersecurity, an enormously popular topic, and of course one of interest for the industry. With me is Drew Morin, who is a Senior Vice President and Chief Technology Officer for TeleCommunication Systems with an acute focus on cybersecurity. And Drew, thanks for being with us. We appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about first off the landscape.
Okay.
What's going on out there these days in terms of malware and viruses and everybody trying to get inside our smartphones?
Sure. Well, I mean, you start by looking at the smartphone is so prevalent in the computing devices, mobile devices. We have more mobile devices in the US than we have people, right? I mean, something like 600 million of them. And what's happening is we're seeing a rapid growth in this new plane, this smartphone, this IP-enabled device you wear on your hip. The malware's always been around there in the PC industry. We're starting to see it now because there's a new place where the hackers could go, and they can find things about it. To put it in perspective, last year, over the past 12 months, 185% increase from 14,000 to 40,000 different malware signatures were identified. And this is in a GAO report that just came out in September. So you're seeing a tremendous upswing in this, and they're focusing on this area, partly because it's a new domain and hackers by their nature are curious, but also because they feel that there's something they can get there.
And that something is what? I mean, money, personal information?
Absolutely.
I mean, what is it? What are the bad actors out there? What do they want to get from me?
Well, it began off, the initial malware attacks were really focused in on trying to gain control of that device. And then from that control to be able to do something as simple as putting a little application in there that would do premium SMS or dial up a premium phone service or something of that nature. And thereby they would be maybe on the back end getting money from those people who'd set up the SMS or set up the premium dial service. Nowadays it's even getting to the point where it's looking for your personal information, trying to figure out can they get banking information, login credentials, things of that nature. So it's getting a little bit more advanced, just as we saw in the PC world.
So what's a user to do then? I mean, that's what you're in the business of doing, I know, is providing that protection, not only for the enterprise, but also for government use. I know you do about a 50-50 split in terms of enterprise and government work. I mean, what kind of safeguards in general are you looking at, and is there a difference between the enterprise and government?
Commonality, yes, and differences, yes. We'll start on the government side, and then we'll come back into the consumer side. Many people are probably interested in the consumer, so I'll do quickly the government. And the government side and the consumer, they both share the challenge of education. Okay? On the government side, however, the education tends to be focused on what are called computer network operations, and we're talking about how do I defend my networks, how do I understand the attacks that are coming in and the exploits that are happening. And that's an area where we work very, very effectively with our Department of Defense. We provide training services around that area. Art of Exploitation is a course curriculum we've developed that goes not only the attack side but also defensive side. And part of that is if you understand the offense, you know how to call a good defense. Okay? Now you transition that kind of capability over into the enterprise side, and it's not just us. There's a whole ecosystem looking at how do I make computer security the paradigm shift into the mobile industry. We have actually within CTIA, there's a Cybersecurity Working Group. It has 28 members, actually I think 29 or 30 now, because I think we had 2 new members join just at this trade show here. And it's a combination of operators, device manufacturers, OS manufacturers, application developers, and in the case of us, people who are providing third-party infrastructure, like LBS platforms, text messaging, or even applications. And what we're doing is we're working together to define different approaches to enable the consumer to be better protected. We can do only so much though with the technology. I can build all kinds of firewall wrappers, I can build all kinds of malware detection capabilities, but ultimately, if you as a consumer click on that link, from your uncle in Nigeria, or whatever the latest malware phishing
who needs
$98,000
because
I'm going to bring $5 million to put in your bank account, and I'll let you split. So anyway, if you click on that link, I can't stop you from doing that. Okay. I can detect it, and then once it's happened, I can try to mitigate it. But consumer education is a critical component of it. One of the things that we just came out with at this trade show here is a white paper on all the different activities being done by the ecosystem in support of the cybersecurity initiatives within the CTIA and the broader community, as well as a cyber safety pamphlet that it's kind of neat. It leverages the characters from cyber safety, spell out each one having a specific initiative that a consumer could look at and understand something that they can do to improve their own security. Things as simple as putting on a PIN code on your device.
Use your pins, use your passwords,
right,
all those things.
Right. You know, how do I ensure that I'm aware of my surroundings? I mean, just like when you're in a strange neighborhood, you're aware of your surroundings. Well, in the computer security, you have to be aware of your surroundings. You just can't see them. You have to kind of detect them in different ways.
And I think one part of that white paper, the last word, unified.
Yes.
And that's about the collaboration you're talking about within the industry. It appears as though there is a tremendous amount of collaboration that's going on and information sharing that you want to go on, that the government, we think, should allow, that'll help everybody work together in a better way and keep the end user safe.
Absolutely, and it's not only it's not just a private partnership; it's a private-public partnership. We have had representatives from NIST, from DHS, from NSA, from DISA, FCC, all participating in this, either directly with briefings with the Cybersecurity Working Group, indirectly through some of the other types of standards that they're working on and us participating and assisting that. So it is a collaborative community. It's not just within the ecosystem of the commercial side, but a public-private partnership. And it's all about how can we improve the security and safety of the consumer.
That group, by the way, led by our own Vice President of Technology and Cybersecurity, John Morin, are doing a great job of that. I know he really appreciates your input and all of the group, and we wish you, certainly we do, sincere good luck going forward because your work is extremely important. So
well, thank you. The entire group takes great pride in what we do, and John does a wonderful job of herding the cats.
Great. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.